Welcome to another episode of Deconstructing the Home Show with Christopher Gill, where we go behind the scenes on what building a real estate empire really looks like. And today we're going to be talking about contractors, the people you hire to do the work you don't want to do on your homes. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame either way, actually. If you're the kind of person that wants to do everything yourself, that's beautiful, fantastic. It's kind of back to the land. I honestly really support it. But you're going to cap yourself pretty quickly on one home every 6 months, which is totally fine. You'll save a ton in labor costs. It'll just be a little bit of a slower process. If you're like me, where I'd rather be doing 100 homes every 6 months, I got to hire a couple people to help me out because that's a lot of floors and I got to sleep every now and then. So contractors are great, but it's a challenge. It can be a huge challenge. It's one of the areas where I think there is the most pain with real estate investors because there's this balance there. And the balance is you can find someone super cheap, below market rate in terms of the work they do, but you'll be dealing with issues of communication, transportation. Are they a felon? Which, I've hired people that have a record. I think that's a great thing. I love being able to do that and obviously giving them an honest job and a way to work. You're just going to be dealing with people that are a little bit more difficult to deal with. The other option is hiring a large company to do the work for you, and they will be punctual, on time, and charge you a heck of a lot of money. So figure it out. You have an option there to go either way. Obviously, you're looking for a happy medium. You want to find people, at least at this point in my business, I am looking for people that normally have a small company of between 5 to 10 people. I'm not hiring the citywide, the statewide, the national organizations. I'm finding small independent people that are running a real business. A lot of them, they have a receptionist. They actually schedule things. They actually have people. They do have license. They do have insurance. So you do get a higher level of work there. You are paying more. It's not dramatically more. And you got to also think about it in terms of scale, right? You can babysit the lowest person. You will have to babysit the lowest person, I should say. It will happen, and you'll get better work, but your scale will dramatically decrease because of the number of properties you can do and the time it will take you to manage each individual property. So you can take your pick. I started out, obviously, working with the absolute cheapest people I could find because I was wanting to save every single dollar I could. I was freaked out about going over budget on my projects, and I didn't care. I was going to be there all day anyways. I was doing one home and one home only, and that was my project. Now I've got 5 to 6 projects going right now. I can't do that. And so I've moved from the cheapest to finding people with small companies that I can work with, and that's been a huge benefit. It's made my life a ton easier, and honestly, I wish I had started there when I was starting. I say, listen, I'm going to lose 20 to 25%. I will pay 25% more for all of these jobs if I can scale it and I don't have to babysit you. So that's definitely something to think about. Second thing with contractors is you want to usually delegate small tasks. Another thing you can do is find people that are a jack of all trades. Sometimes they're even good at a lot of different trades. But again, you want to, if you're into scaling your business, you want to have people doing a specific task and then moving on and getting really good at that individual task for your business. Even if they do a lot of different things, find the thing that they're absolutely best at, give that job to them, and then allow them to scale that in your company so that that's all they do for you. I've also found that, you can have people and they will give you a better deal. They're like, hey, I can do your electrical and I can frame out this wall for you and I can paint your house for you. I say, great. I don't have to find those other people. But it takes them longer. They get distracted. They're trying to work on too many different things. If they get overwhelmed, sometimes frustrated, it doesn't usually work out. So I would delegate small tasks. Break your jobs up really into a lot of different jobs. I have a demo crew. All they do is the demo. I have a rough framing crew. All they do is the rough framing. I have a custom cabinetry guy. I have a guy that puts the poles on the cabinets. I have a lighting guy. I have cleaning people. I have tile people. I have tile people that do different types of tile jobs. So I've tried to break my jobs down into something that anyone can accomplish that aspect of their job in less than a week. It makes it easier. They're not at the property for as long a period of time. It's the way that I've found works best for me, and I think it will probably work best for you as well. Another thing that I've learned to never do, and this may sound obvious, but I've committed this sin of house rehabbing, and I've given contractors or workers too much money up front. I usually am willing to buy materials for people. We're getting really practical now. I'm willing to buy the materials for you. You actually go to the store, you call me, I put on my company credit card because I want the points and I like to have that record. I don't want them going all around, putting them on their card, then invoicing me. I like having it all on the card. All the receipts are emailed to my business email, so I have a track record of all the receipts. And then if they need between 20 and 50% of the job up front to get started, and that's usually only if they've worked for me before will I give them 50% up front. And then you never, ever, ever, ever pay them off for the job until you have checked it, double checked it, and triple checked it, and made sure you are okay if you never see this contractor again. There is a tendency, especially when you're working with, again, that cheaper help, the people that are giving you the really good deals, they think in terms of one job, not in terms of many jobs. You can say, hey, I've got 5 to 10 jobs for you coming up. Trust me, I've tried it. They don't think that way. It's this job, they want their money, and that's all it is. And they may come back to you for the next job. They also may not. So never ever pay them off, even if you're trying to be nice, even if they're coming to you asking for a favor. I wouldn't do it. You're setting yourself up for failure. I know so many people that have paid a GC, and we're getting to GCs in a minute, but they've paid people a lot of money to take care of multiple aspects of their business, trying to delegate more. Then they go in and working on another job, their day job, they go on a trip, they never hear or see that guy again. And I don't want you to go through that. So really, if they need you to buy materials, totally cool. Take care of the materials. If they need 20 to 50% up front, I would negotiate on that, but never pay them off until the job is completely finished. Next, I want to talk just a little bit about GCs and whether that's something that's worth hiring out. You obviously care the most about your jobs. A GC will never care about your job as much as you do because it's your money on the line, it's your investors' money on the line, it's your name on the line. You're selling the house at the end of the day. You're the one who's waiting 3 months to get paid. That's never fun, but it's part of what we do as house rehabbers. And so there is the benefit. You got to find someone that you trust. That sounds obvious. It's harder than you think. And the vetting process has to continue, right? You can talk to them once. That doesn't mean the process ends there. It has to continue. You want to continue to talk to them about your goals for the company. You potentially want to offer them bonuses if stuff gets done in a timely manner. You say, listen, I'll pay you this. And if we get this done in 2 weeks, you get this. And if it gets done in 4 weeks, you get this. You got to find someone that's able to stick to timetables. And that's something that I've recently fired multiple people over because we've talked about a timetable. I've been really obvious. We need this done in 4 days. Yes, sir. It'll be done in 4 days. 6 days later, the job ain't done. I can't build and scale a business on jobs that go over time 20 to 50%. Does not work. I don't care if you're cheaper. I will find someone. I will pay more if I need to. I want to scale a business. So a GC can be incredibly beneficial because they can be more hands-on, right? If you're managing multiple projects, I can't be as hands-on anymore. So I've actually recently brought on a partner in my business whose sole role is to handle the contracting and GC side of my business. So I want to step further away from that. It's someone I've known for years, and I trust him implicitly, and I'm excited about seeing where that grows and where that takes my business. But that's something I GC'd everything myself for the first basically 2.5 to 3 years of my business. I didn't do it. I hired people to help me with different aspects of it, and they would manage their different crews. I didn't hire a GC that was literally their sole job was to handle the contracting and the actual construction side of the business. So there is the benefit there. Proceed with caution though. You can find a good GC, but you do have to ask the question, if the GC was that good, if they're able to keep their people on time, if they're able to make the money, why aren't they investing themselves? It kind of makes sense to me. But some people don't, and there are good ones out there, but you will either have to pay a lot. So again, that goes back to scale. If you're going to pay someone a good wage to run your jobs, you're going to have a growing company that's making that kind of money, or you have to bring them in as an equity partner, or you just have to find someone you really trust. So find good contractors. It will be a struggle. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I still struggle with good contractors, and I'm paying people well, and I'm giving them a lot of work to do, and it's still a struggle. I don't understand it. It's a different mentality. It's just a different way people think about things. but it's something you do got to deal with. The longer you do it, the better your list is going to get, the more refined you're going to get. And don't be afraid to fire people. Really, you've got to do it. And the longer you try and drag them along saying, okay, they're going to get better, you're wasting time. Let them come back to you at a later date if they want to do that. Fire them, move on, get your job completed, and move on to the next project, and then reassess from there. But even in the middle of a project, if you got to cut your losses, don't be afraid to do that. It's hard at the time, you'll be happier later on. But at the end of the day, it's all about the team. You've got to find and create a good team. You got to hire, you got to train, and you got to bring on the right people. And again, it's all about attitude, I would say. It's about the right team, and it's all about attitude. You can train someone to do a specific project for you if they got a good attitude and they're ready to work.